Hi everyone, we're here in Tbilisi, Georgia, and I have Reece over here who just came from Australia. So Reece, can you please tell us something more about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, been travelling now for about 18 years, so was fortunate enough to leave Australia just before my 18th birthday for the first time and fell in love with the rest of the world. So I've been to 84 countries so far, and I would easily put Georgia at the top of my list. I absolutely love it here. I think this is my 9th or 10th time coming in the last 5 years, so yeah, it's good to be here.
Oh, that's amazing. What is your impression of Georgia? What do you like about Georgia?
Well, Georgia has a bit of everything. So, firstly, the geography is great. You know, there's a lot of places you can go and check out. There's caves that have been in movies. The city layouts are great. I mean, you can see some of the amazing set there behind us. But the economy's good. There's lovely people here. It's expansive, so the economy is definitely emerging and growing. Things are a lot cheaper here than they are in the rest of the world, but the quality's still there. So, love going out to dinner, drinking wine, coffee, whatever it might be. And I'd say it's probably about a quarter of the price from my home country of Australia.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So, what is your interest? What is interesting about investing in Georgia? Like, not a lot of people have heard of Georgia, so.
Yes. Well, a couple of things. Firstly, the tourism sector is booming. So when you're talking about property, there's a growing population here. People are moving here, and because of the cost of living, there's a lot of nomadic people. So people who can work from anywhere in the world. During COVID, they obviously had a lot of people locked down. Now they no longer have to go into an office. So they come and then work from a co-working space in Georgia, or even get a place here and work from home. They can then enjoy the benefits of the Georgian economy and the opportunity that presents.
So what are some of the investment opportunities in Georgia and Tbilisi or even Batumi?
Well, there's a tourism market and then there's a housing market. People are buying a lot of apartments in Batumi so that they can go and stay in them when they want to come and visit them. But then they can either put them on the short-term rental market like an Airbnb or a Booking.com style, or rent them out on the long term, so people who are going to stay in for 6 to 12 months. The return on investment here is more like 10 to 15%. Now, if I compare that to Australia, we get about a 4 to 5% yield, so it's 3 times the amount of return on the money that you're investing. But the upfront cost is a lot lower. So I might go and buy a property in Australia for $500, $600, $1 million. I can pick up that same property here for probably about $100,000 to $200,000.
Oh, that sounds very tempting for foreign investors.
Absolutely.
So, you've worked with Premium Law Group, right?
I have indeed.
So how can you describe your experience in working with them?
Yeah, phenomenal. So firstly, I just Googled like how to start a company in Georgia. I was working with some people at the time that wanted to set one up. I dealt with the reception admin staff firstly, and then got put onto a gentleman by the name of Tourniquet. He met us, I think the next day, took us out to Justice Haus, set up the company, set up bank accounts for everyone within 3 days, which they can now use around the world. So the process was incredibly simple and a very smooth transition.
Great. So can you tell us what your opinion on real estate and specifically on land market is?
Yeah, well, it's growing. So as I've said, a lot of people are moving here because of the cost of living. So that will mean that obviously prices are going to rise from a supply and demand perspective. The war in the Ukraine has obviously helped property prices as well, because there are a lot of Russians and Ukrainians that are moving to Georgia. But from a long-term perspective, I just see that the market's really untapped here. It's very low to cost to live here, which means people will come.
All right, that's great. So there's something that is very interesting about you and the people you've worked with. It's called Novaturian Life.
Yeah.
So what is it exactly, and how can people benefit from Novaturian Life?
Well, look, Novaturian, which people haven't heard before, it's a word that means seeking powerful change. So I don't believe in the status quo. I don't believe in what's being taught at schools to children, really. People need to be financially free to, whether or not they care about money. You can live a much happier life if you don't have to sit in traffic, go to a 9-to-5 job, work for somebody else. So we give people, I guess, educational opportunities to understand what are the other ways that they can make money, work less hours, do what they're passionate about in life, and also travel, because that's a big part of what we do. So we help with company structures, wealth protection, asset protection, how to help people start their own business, how to invest, how to set up crypto accounts if they're interested in that. So yeah, there's a lot of layers to what Novaturin does, but it's for people that want to change what they're currently doing if they believe what they're currently doing isn't working.
Well, that sounds amazing. So would you and how would you recommend like Novaturin Life or Premium Law Group to others who wants to invest?
Well, it depends on what stage of life people are in. But if they're saying, look, I'm wanting to invest in a foreign market, well, I think Georgia's one of the best in the world to do so. If they're saying, look, I want to get some lower cost employees that have still got a pretty high standard of the work they deliver, I think Georgian people can provide that. If they want lower tax brackets, well, there's ways where you can qualify for a virtual zone here in Georgia and pay just 5% tax on profits, which is pretty low. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity that people can leverage by moving into the Georgian market.
Oh, awesome. I think that pretty much sums it up. So if you want to hear more about Premium Law Group and Novaturin Life, just give us a call.